Hello everyone, Owlvine here. How are you? It has been a while since we did this. It has been so long, in fact, that I realized, I sat down and like all these things are happening and I'm like, I don't even know how to film a video anymore. I had, once I'd figured it out, I had Mr. Power Tools outside doing stuff and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Not now. But he stopped after a couple of minutes. Thank goodness. He's a neighbor, so I can't really yell at him. If it was Sean, probably would. And then once I did that, I realized I'd messed around with all the settings on my camera the other night when we had our full blue blood moon. And I was taking pictures of that and recordings and stuff. And then like the time on my video had changed. So usually I get 20 minutes and then it was like down to 10 and I'm like, probably not going to cut it. So I had to like jump online and I'm like looking at all these tutorials and anyway. We're here now. Oh my goodness. So it's January. Hi. It is a new year. It is 2018. Crazy stuff. Crazy, crazy stuff. It has already been a massive year for me. A massive month for me. There's just been so many things going on. There's been a whole bunch of like shadow stuff bubbling up and like all these new processes and things that I'm doing. When I started the year, when I planned for the beginning of the year, I thought it was going to be very different. I thought I was going to be focusing on a couple of different areas of my life that turns out now they are on the back burner, and there are other areas of my life that I'm like full throttle focusing on. So it's already turned out to be such a different year to what I expected. I hope that it's been a good one for you so far. It has for me. It's been very difficult in some areas, but I'm finding that I'm really like embracing the challenge now, like I'm really excited about it. Last year for me was a huge year of shadow work, like just like all of this stuff, like all this painful stuff that came up to be looked at, to be cleared out. So I feel like I'm at like a ground zero kind of space. So from here, upward movement. Trajectory. Is that how you say that word, trajectory? Yeah. I struggle with saying words sometimes. Something I've discovered actually over, the last few months really, but particularly this last month, is how much I love writing. I love the written word. I've always been into books. I've always loved reading. Like novels are my jam. I was talking about this with my husband the other night. Struggle speaking. And I was just talking about how, like, I cannot stand when people are like, oh, like this is an example kind of from this community, I don't understand how people can do certain things. So it's like, you can do whatever you want, but I just don't get people who like do this thing, like I just don't get it. But I'm like that with people who don't read novels. Like I can't compute. I don't compute. I get it. But like, I don't empathize. Like I'm just such a book nut, and I just love reading so much. Anyway, so I just realized how much I love the written word. This is going to be a ramble, all right? If you haven't yet, pause and grab a cup of tea or something, because dude, I got things to say. So I love the written word and I love writing myself, and I always have, but it's very much become evident to me through these newsletters that I'm writing, which will be launched at some point. And yeah, there's just a lot of stuff going on in the background. This is not my particular business. I'm writing for someone, so most of the content is stuff that I create, but the whole business, everything is not mine. So anyway, there's a lot going on that's just getting honed down so it can be perfect and beautiful when it launches. Anyway, but through doing that, through having that opportunity, I've realized how much I love to write, because before that it was all journaling stuff, like I fill up journals like nobody's business. Like I have already gone through just the last batch that I bought. So I buy 6 at a time, just because there's this bulk lot on eBay that I get. I really like the journals. Uh-oh, I think we have a chicken that's about to come inside. Yeah, here she comes. Alright, I'm just going to deposit the chicken outside. I've left the back door open and she just comes in the fly wire. I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. I had the back door open to like let some air in because it's like really warm today, and I've lit a whole bunch of candles behind me here, so it's like extra warm now. So I'm like trying to get some airflow happening, but then chicken enters. Anyway, the cat just broke the fly screen, so it's like a flap now, so it's like a doggy door or a chicken door or a cat door. But anyway, so I've already gone through a bunch of journals. I love writing. That is my whole thing. So I'm really enjoying actually Facebook and Instagram right now. I'm really getting into Facebook. Like, it's so weird because I've never been much of like a Facebook person, but I'm just really enjoying it. Like, I'm enjoying that writing and stuff. So that's been a very exciting kind of discovery, or not really discovery, but like coming to know, I suppose, which is the same thing. But there are a lot of things changing this year. So you are going to see a reflection of those changes on social media. So I've got a YouTube, Instagram and Facebook right now. All my links are always down below if you're interested. I've just recently put my Facebook to public as well, which is kind of a big deal, but exciting. So that's a thing. So I'm more easily found, I suppose, or whatever. Yeah, so you can, you know, do that thing that you do with clickies. Yeah, but I want to bring more of myself, I guess, to what I'm doing. Okay, let me explain that, because I have been obviously bringing myself, but I've had this this deeper understanding of myself, or like a deeper connection with me. You know, after having moved through all of this shadow stuff, which was very external. And I've just had this conversation with Crimson Fire today, so like a lot of her ways of explaining things, thank God, are like in my head, so I can like, she has better words than I do. Yeah, so a lot of it's been external, right? Things happening on the outside. So now I've kind of been able to just like, like breathe me, like be connected with me. So I'm just realizing all these new directions that I want to go in, you know. Ultimately the channel will be like me doing this that we do, right? But I'm wanting to share like more of my story, more of my stories from my past and things like that. And it's something I've been thinking about doing honestly since I got on here, but I wanted to do it in a way that you know, was soul expression, but also helpful, you know, like not just like blah, here's, you know, the awful things that have happened, but to, I don't know, just like do it in a way that, you know, might be a little bit more constructive or whatever. Anyway, so I'm just realizing how much I value self-development, and, you know, how much that is an area that just like really makes me tick, and that I really want to be more in. Like, for me, I came into this path for self-empowerment. For self-empowerment and because of self-empowerment. Like, it was the first major choice that I've ever made for myself that went against what other people would want from me, like all of the people around me. And I just pulled up my britches and I was like, yep, I'm just going to do it, you know. And there's a fly because it's Australia and it's summer and it's hot. Be quiet, please. So yeah, so self-development, self-empowerment is really my lens for witchcraft and for paganism and stuff, right? Not to say that people who aren't witches or pagans or whatever aren't self-developing, aren't self-empowered and all that kind of thing, of course. But that was just my lens. So it's something that I'm wanting to bring more, you know, like I feel like I've, in a way, been playing it small a little bit. You know, there's just been a lot of big topics that I have wanted to get into, but I'm like, oh, I just don't even know, like, nah, you know. So anyway, there's going to be more of that happening. In terms of regularity, well, Facebook and Instagram now I've been more regular on, which is awesome. This video sphere, I am aiming to be. I have realized that I am incredibly rebellious. I'm so rebellious. I'm rebellious against myself. If I set myself like things, like rules or whatever, if I'm like, you know, I need to upload once a week, which I have done several times, like said that, and then I'm just like, no, I'm not doing it, you know. And it's not purely rebellion, it's like, you know, other stuff too, whatever, but it's just like me saying that, like it doesn't necessarily mean anything. So I'm like, my aim is to, you know, upload more regularly. There is not going to be any set days because nah, that's just not going to be a thing. Like, again, way too rigid. So when I got something to say, here we go. So there's been a lot of like blah, 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 but a lot of changes coming. So I have got some big projects that I'm going to be putting out into the world this year. And usually I don't like to share what they are beforehand because kind of what I just talked about. but I'm going to now. So I am in the beginning process of creating an oracle deck. Oh, I'm very, very excited. Now this is something that has just like bubbled up from like soul space, you know, like this is something that like I need to just get out, and I love the idea of it, you know, being an oracle deck and being a tool that that other people can use and maybe tap into certain energetic, what's the word? It's not footprint, but energetic waves or whatever for themselves, you know, like not my stuff, but for them anyway. I don't know. I'm very excited. So oracle deck is coming. Also, oh my God, I'm really excited about this. I've always wanted to do this. I'm going to write a book. So I already have an inkling as to what it's going to be about. It's this subject that just like keeps coming up for me, right? So I'm so excited. So I don't know when these projects will be done. Like it could be like end of the year type thing. It could be like much sooner. I'm not really sure. Because this process of like creating these things and really getting into this stuff is shadow work. Like there is so much stuff that comes up for me like every day. You know, and it's becoming less, you know, like I'm absolutely like, you know, taking steps forward and moving through stuff, which is awesome. But yeah, like putting things like this into creation and putting them out in the world is like massive shadow work steps. So who knows how long it will take me. I'm going through a process, but I'm very excited. It should be sometime this year. No, I'm being held to it. It's going to be this year. So that's awesome. Also the Spellcasting Club, which is the newsletters that I've been talking to you guys about that I've been doing, will be launched, we're not really sure, like maybe late Feb, March, possibly later. It really depends because there's so much going on. But there is going to be so much awesome content on there straight away. So, I mean, I'll talk to you guys about that. If it's something you're interested in, that's something you can do as well. Also, another super exciting thing is I am building a website. Well, I'm not building a website. I have an amazing tech friend who's like doing computer stuff, and he's actually going to create it for me. So it's going to be very basic to start off with, but I'm so feeling the need for a blog. Like I've been writing Facebook posts, right? And I'm just like, they're really long, like they become long, and I want to write more, but I'm like, you know, I don't want people to be like reading this Facebook post for like, you know, however long, all day. So I'm like, right, blog needs to happen. And again, this is something I've been thinking about for quite a while. So that'll be some more awesome, you know, free content goodness, which will be a thing at some point, probably in the next couple of weeks, actually. Very exciting. I can hear, oh, it's just a candle. Because it's been so hot, we've had all these moths everywhere. So it sounds like a moth like flapping around, but usually they're at night. But anyway. So that's some of the awesome stuff that's coming. I'll be sharing, you know, more of my story, more stuff, more things that are just bubbling up from soul, you know. The other thing I wanted to kind of share with you was like magical practice and how that is. Let me just check the, yeah, we got time. Sorry, I'm quite far away so you can see my altar behind me. Because, anyway, just stuff and things. I feel very unpracticed at this, so hello and thank you for continuing to watch if you are still here. So I've changed up my altar space, as you can see. I'm no longer in front of the window is over there. I'm now over here, the shelf is moved, a whole bunch of stuff has been moved out of this room. The table I have behind me is our coffee table. We're simplifying our lounge room. We are minimalizing down. My husband just got back from a 10-day silent retreat where you don't speak or communicate with anyone for 10 days. Deep meditation, you know, it was just a profound, profound experience for him, which has just absolutely changed him and gotten him like up and out of his slump. It's amazing. But anyway, one of the things he said, you know, as soon as he got home, he's like, we need to simplify. And I'm like, yep, brilliant, let's do it. So the whole lounge room's changing. So the other day, on the full moon, actually, I'm sitting here first thing in the morning and I'm like, I really want a new altar space. I'm like, I want a bigger surface, you know, like a bigger surface. And then I'm like, oh, coffee table. I can move the coffee table in here because we're getting rid of that anyway. And then I was like, yeah, you know, I'll do it once the lounge room's moved around. And then I just couldn't stop thinking about it. So I'm like, no, it's happening right now. So I'm like pulling everything out, and it was crazy. And it took me like hours, but I have a new altar space now, which I freaking love. And it's pink, which I didn't expect that to be a thing, but anyway, I really like it. So sitting in front of my new altar space. So my magical practice is changing up. I am going through a real shift right now, a real transition stage. I had a reading from Kellyanne the other day, and oh my god, it was so good. I've had a couple of readings from her, and every time it's just like spot the fuck on, you know, like just, and there's so much to unpack in there. But it was a solitary witch reading, and it was brilliant. So that reading is for sort of if you don't really like know where you're going on your path, or you kind of like want a little bit of clarity, or like things are shifting and you're like, what's going on? That's a really good reading for that. And you know, that's what was happening for me. So I'm like, yep. And it was just brilliant. And what I love about it too is like, there's this quote, and I can't remember what it is, but it's something like, you know, I can't tell you anything that you don't recognize as truth. Or it's not that, but something like that, you know what I mean? Like if someone tells you a truth, you will recognize it if it's true. Like you'll feel a resonance. Otherwise, you know, possibly not. So anyway, so that happened for me, like, you know, as she was going through the reading, because I had a video reading, it was just like all this stuff, and like I'd known it before, like I had a little sense about it, but it was just put out there in like all these gorgeous words and things, and I was like, yep, and it just hit me, you know. And I've been going through a process with that since then, which has probably been about a week and a half or so. I'm not really sure because my timeline's like all warped right now. Yeah, but it was just like amazing. So I'm going through this real shift, right? And the Oracle deck is a part of that. You know, it's a part of this deep resonance that I'm getting. This new kind of, I don't know, way of practicing, I suppose, way of connecting with spirit or something. Anyway, so the deck is going to be primal. It is a primal deck. I have some visioning of what the energy is for me, but how it comes out on paper is always going to be different as well. So we'll see how that goes. But that's a part of this whole new trajectory. I'm trying to say that word again. Trajectory, yes. So yeah, so my magical practice is definitely shifting right now. I did have an amazing night on the full moon with this altar space here. I was in and out all night. Like I was out there looking at the moon because we could see it here in Australia turn completely red. So I have some pictures on Facebook too if you guys want to see those, or a video that kind of shows it, but it's a bit blurry because it's a video. Yeah, but so I was in and out for like hours, right? I was so pumped. Like I was so fucking pumped. And usually on full moons I'm not. Like I'm like, oh yeah, it's the full moon. Sometimes I'm like too tired to do anything. I'm just like, bleh. But I was charged. Like I was so excited, and like so much stuff happened that day. And I think partially, I mean, there was a lot of, yeah, but partially it was to do with the fact that it was a Leo moon as well. Like it was in Leo, and my Sun, Moon and Mercury are all in Leo, so it was just like hitting stuff, you know. So anyway, it was amazing. And I just love this altar space. I've decided I'm going to be doing some painting here and stuff as well for myself, because there's like enough surface space now, which is what I wanted. I wanted more surface space. If you guys want like a tour of the altar as well, let me know. I can show you what's happening right now. It's just in its beginning stages, so it's all neat and beautiful. Because you know how that happens, you first make it and you're like, oh, it's so nice. And then like however long later, there's just like stuff everywhere because, you know, you work your altar. That's all I want to say. That might be all I want to say for now, I think. I don't know how long I've talked for, it's been a while. But yeah, so things are shifting, things are changing. Happy January, everybody. I'm very excited to be sitting in front of you again. It has been a while. It feels like it's been a really long time. I put up another video in January, but I'd filmed it beforehand and I wasn't on the screen either. So it just feels like really weird. Really weird to be back here, but good at the same time. So let me know if you would like an altar tour. Let me know what's going on for you. How has this year been panning out so far? Is it different to what you thought? What are the energies doing in your life? Like, what is going on for you? There is a lot of energy about right now, like with this moon that's just happened, and then, you know, Saturn has moved into Capricorn, so there's all kinds of stuff happening, but it manifests for people very, very differently. So I'm wondering how you guys are, if you're doing well. And I'm sure that I'll be making another video very, very soon, and maybe a little bit more succinctly
and less like this, but then again it might be like this because I'm coming from soul space and like, dude, I am a messy, yep. Anyway, alright, I love you guys and I will see you in the next video. Mwah! So much love and many, many blessings.